Well, hi. Welcome back to Glitter 50. Here we are again, trying out a different camera angle. Um, but we're going to go through the last of my eyeshadow palettes. Now, I had said that in my previous video that I had about 40, and in all actuality, I had 38, so about 40 was correct. My first video, I have 40 ColourPop um, palettes, and now in this one, I think I have 41, which means my grand total is 119, which my husband says is excessive, and I say there's no such thing. Anyway, I had said that I had shown you all of my Sugar Drizzle palettes, and I had not. I did not show you this one. I found it later on as I was getting all these ready today. I found this one, and this is the Unicorn palette, and it has a whole bunch of pressed glitters. Now this is a really old formula. This came out a couple years ago, I think. I really do like it. So there's these. I do not use it as much as I probably should, but like I said, next year is the year of going through all of my palettes and just using them. And I had told you that I showed you the only two BH Cosmetics. Well, I forgot that I had the Zodiac Love Signs from BH Cosmetics also. And this is what this one looks like. It is, all of these are mattes. All of these are metallic shades. And then this is a highlighter in the middle. Now it is a very pretty palette. I just never figured out how to use these colors. Again, I'm going to try it. Now this is the only Fenty Beauty eyeshadow I've ever tried. And this came in a BoxyCharm, I believe. And it's just very plain and not at all my color story, not something that I like at all. I just can't seem to figure out how to get rid of things. This is an indie brand, I believe, that is local to Washington also, and I do not know if they are even still in business or not. I have not looked. But this is the Blood Moon palette by Wendy's Cosmetics. And these are really pretty colors. Um, they're just not as impactful as I'm used to from indie brands. So that's why it's kind of one of the ones that's hidden in the bottom drawer and I don't really use it a whole heck of a lot. This is an Ace Beauté Falling For You. This is the only palette that I have from Ace Beauté, and this was from before they reformulated their colors and their mattes. It is a very pretty eyeshadow palette. I love all of these colors. I just haven't used it a whole lot, which again, next year I'm going to change all that. This is my only palette from Juvia's Place, and I have not used it at all. I believe I got this in a BoxyCharm before it became Ipsy. I've swatched it, but I've not really used it. So, again, I will be. This is from Lois Cosmetics. This is Meet Me in the Underworld, and everybody loved this palette, and I love the story of this palette, and I wanted to love the colors in this palette. I mean, it looks like a palette right up my alley, but I could not get these shadows to work for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but they don't show up as pigmented on me as they have on other people, and maybe I'm just doing it wrong. So again, I'm going to try this again. I'll probably try this again before the end of the year. If not, I'm going to figure out what I can do with it, because I don't want to keep things in my collection that I'm not going to use. This is another one that I have, obviously because of BoxyCharm, and this was forever ago. And I never really used it. I swatched this color and this color, and I think I tried to use these two, maybe this one also, but it wasn't something that I used a whole lot of. So I'm going to try it again, see if I can make the colors the way I want them. If not, I'll figure out what to do with it. Now this is from Alter Ego. This is called the Goddess palette. Alter Ego does dupe palettes for like the Huda Beauty or the Natasha Denona. If you can't spend the $120 or $80 for their palettes, you can spend $20 to $25 on these palettes. Now this palette, oh my goodness, I love this palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Love these shades. Obviously you can tell it's been well used. I love it. And this is also from Alter Ego. This is the Daydream palette, and I believe this is a Huda Beauty remake too. And I like this palette. I like the Goddess palette more than I like this palette, but it's super, super pretty. I hope you can see these colors. I just have not used it a whole lot. Now these palettes are from Melt Cosmetics, and this is, I got these in a, I think I ordered these specifically actually, and I have not used this a whole lot, but I do love this color story. I do love this particular brand of neutrals. This is what I call neutrals. I don't call mauves neutrals, but these are my neutrals. And I do love this palette. This is called the Rusted. The Rust palette from Melt Cosmetics. And this is the Gemini palette. This is the remake of the Gemini palette. So this is not the first one, but this is the second time that they upped the quality of it. But look at these shadows. Look at how beautiful those shadows are. Sorry, trying not to blind you with my mirror. But look at those shadows. Look at how beautiful they are in those. And they're so detailed. They've got roses on all of them, and they're just absolutely beautiful. Love this palette. Now the next palette that I have from Melt was very well, everybody wanted it. They had it in a dual. They got rid of it, and they brought it back. And I didn't want the companion palette to this one. I just wanted this one. This is the Myrte palette from Melt. Day of the Dead. Isn't that beautiful? That sugar skull that's on there. There's another one that finishes this off, and it's more of a rainbow type palette, and that's just not my vibe. But this one is the color story that I absolutely love. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I love all of these colors, and I've used this a couple of times. I will be using it more, obviously, but when this came back out, I had to have this palette. So there's those palettes. Now my next ones, this is one of my favorite brands. and I've used this brand several times. These are the old palettes from Odin's Eye. These are not the newer ones, but this is the Solomona, and these formulas are okay. They're not the best formula. They're not the new formula that Odin's Eye has, the phenomenal Odin's Eye formula that is now. These are older ones, but I still love this color story. I just don't use this one because the other formula is better. And then this one is called the Freya palette. And yes, I try to keep everything in their packaging because I'm just weird like that. Now this is the Freya from Odin's Eye, and these are pretty, but they're not the color story that I like. They're not the saturation of colors that I like. It's not my favorite formula from this brand. But I got these in like a mystery box, and so I kept them. And this is still an older formula, but it's still a good formula. This is my favorite. These had the Norns from Swedish mythology. This is Erd, and there's two other ones, but I didn't like those color stories. This is the color story that I like. It's the dark grungy, and these shades are just absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. Now we're getting into my favorite ones from them. They do have more, but I didn't buy all of them. This is the Solomona 2, and I love to mix this orangey yellow with this orange and this plummy purple, or burgundy. Makes like a beautiful sunset eye, and I get so many compliments when I wear this particular palette. Love this palette. And then, because I'm a fan, because I absolutely love her, I got the Hella Odin's Eye and Angelica palette, and I got the Trick or Treat palette and the Little Ghost palette. Now I'm going to open them up for you, but these are just such good palettes. I love these palettes. Love the color story. Love watching Angie's videos. These are just my favorite ones. So that's the first one that she came out with, and it is no longer available, but I will still be using it because I love it. And these are almost sold out. They have a few more, and they will not be restocking them. This is the Little Ghost palette. They will be having a Black Friday sale coming up, but this is the Little Ghost palette. And again, I can use this yellow, this orange, and this kind of burnt red, and I can make that really similar sunset eye. I can even add a little bit of this to darken this one up, or just skip to this one, and it's a really pretty sunset type eyeshadow look, which I absolutely love. But I just love the artwork on this. I just think it's so pretty. And then this is the Trick or Treat palette from the same, from Odin's Eye as well. And here's what this color story looks like, and I absolutely love this. I have not used this enough, but very fall colors, very fall palette. Love the formulas in here. They're so pretty. So those are all of my Odin's Eye palettes. Now I'm going to show you These are all from one brand. I got this brand, one of the eyeshadow palettes, in a BoxyCharm, and I really loved it, but it was all shimmery. And my daughter loved it so much that she took it from me. And then they kept coming out with more. Now, this is Nomad Cosmetics, and they do, if you buy their palettes, some of them, they're a destination type company. They base all of their um, palettes off of destinations, and within that destination they give to a charity. So some of the proceeds from buying these go to a charity, and I can't remember all of them. This particular one, and I cannot pronounce where this is from, this is somewhere in France. This one, I believe, was for the bees. Yes, this one was for bees. They contributed to the honeybee preservation, and these are just gorgeous. And again, I can do that whole sunset looking eye with this particular brand. It does, or this palette, it does come with a mirror, but obviously I was covering it up because I don't want to blind you guys. Now this one is from Nomad. Also, this is the Whistler Snow Lodge palette. And these colors, I don't remember what they gave to from this particular palette, but these colors are so pretty. I need to use this more often, just like I say with all my other palettes. I need to use it more often, but I do love these colors. They're just, this is more like a topper, so you have to put something underneath it in order to make this one pop. And this one too, this is more of a topper shade, so these two you have to have like a base down in order for them to show through, but they're so pretty. Love Nomad Cosmetics. This is one of the first ones that I bought from them. This is the it's called Fire and Ice, but this is the Swedish name of it, I believe. But you see the little gnome? Do you see the little gnome right there? Isn't he cute? So I love, again, this palette, this formula. I don't remember what they contributed to as far as the what the I can't even talk straight. What they contributed part of their proceeds from, but it was something. And then I don't know if you noticed, on the outside is the ice, and then on the inside up here is the fire. So I really loved Iceland Fire and Ice palette. It's a beautiful palette. I think I still have all three of those. Now this is Nomad Royal Europe palette, and these shades down here are just gorgeous. And again, I have not used this. These are all dark shades, so I feel like I would have to pair this with a lighter tone palette in order to get something that I can wear. I don't like an all dark look. I think it shows off my wrinkles and crinkles way too much, but this is a beautiful textured palette, and I think I still sell this one. I'm not 100% sure. This one, motorcycle, Paradise Islands. They contributed to the sea turtles. That was what they were going for with this one. And this is the color story in here. And I do absolutely love this color story. I love this blue one. You can see I've used it quite a bit. I've used some of these, but not all of these. Actually, I think I've used all of the shades, but there are some that I've used more than others. But I really do love this palette. It's more of a spring, summertime palette than it is a wintertime palette, but I do love it. Now this they came out with a couple years ago. This is the Haunted Europe palette, and I don't know if you can see the holographic switch to that. I think you can. But this is not my favorite color story from them. It works, it's just not my favorite. It's pretty, but it's not my favorite. I have not used this a whole bunch because I have a hard time making a full look out of this palette, but I really do love that. And I don't remember, they contributed to something from this one too, and I can't remember now what it was, but this was the Haunted Europe, and I don't believe that this one is for sale anymore. And then this is perhaps my favorite, probably because it reminds me of home. This is called America's Parks, and this is the color story, and it just, I can't read the names off of here because the font is so different down in here, but I really love this color story. I love the formula in here, and it's just, like I said, it's one of my favorite brands, so I have a lot from Nomad Cosmetics. They've come out with several more palettes, but I'm trying not to buy them all. Alrighty, so now this is another brand. We're almost done. This is another brand I really, really like, and I'm going to show you. This is the first one that I bought, and I kept it in the package because I just think it is so darn cute. This is the chocolate donut palette from Glamlite, and it's like a squishy packaging, and I saw all these cakes and ice creams and paint palettes, and I thought, well, when it comes out with a color story that I like, I'll buy it. Well, this was the closest that it came to a color story that I really liked. So I purchased this one. I really do love it. Have not used it in a really long time, but I do love this formula. They have since gotten better and better with their formulas. This is the Scooby-Doo in Glamlite. This is the Rut-Row Raggy palette. And look at those colors. Aren't they beautiful? I love the greens, the blue, the purple. That's a darker purple. But these are just such pretty colors. Again, I would have to bring in another palette to use this one, but I do use it. I have not used it enough. And then this one is the Creeps and Crawls palette. And this is more the pink and purples type palette. And I really do love this. Again, I'd have to bring in some lighter colors to use with this. But it's really, really beautiful. Absolutely love these two from Glamlite. Now this is a Michaela Pot 2. She had a Pot 1, and a Pot 2. She had a bigger palette for both of those, but I didn't want the whole big palette. I just wanted this little one. So this is the one that I bought. And it's so pretty. I love the colors in here. I love the mixture of them. I have a lot of greens and browns, and I didn't realize it until I started going through all of my palettes, but I do love this palette. Have not used it enough. I will in the future, but there's this one. Now this one, Glamlite made a mistake, and they sent me two packages of the same exact thing, and I bought one because I'm giving it to my daughter for Christmas, and I hope she doesn't watch this video, or my granddaughters. Don't spoil it. Anyway, this has the 3D. I tried to use this the other day, but I was really, really sick, and I just could not use it. I wasn't feeling good, and these are really dark colors. Um, so you'll see where there's a few smudges in there, but I have not really out and out used this one. I'm going to use it next week. But yes, this is the Friday the 13th collection from Glamlite, and I'm so excited to have that in my collection. Alrighty, so we have two more brands to show you. Now this one, sorry, I need to rearrange everything. I'm going to show you. So this is the Mini Controversy palette. I had more from Jeffree Star, but my daughter really wanted the cremated palette, and so I gave that to her. And then this I bought because I really wanted that green shadow that they had advertised that they were going to put in it. They did end up releasing that shadow called Put It Back, and it is in one of my single shadow things. I just forgot where I didn't name all of the shadows that were in my single shadows, but this is from the Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson collaboration. And then I got a mystery box, and this Mini Breaker palette was in there, and they're such bright, vibrant colors. I really do love this, but I have not used it a whole heck of a lot. And then they had this one because Jeffree Star says he's an alien, and they were getting rid of it, and I was like, I really want that color story because, again, the greens, the browns, pop of purple. I really love greens and browns apparently. But I have not used this a whole lot, probably because it is a collector's item, because it is no longer available. He does not sell that one anymore. And I love this packaging on this one. It's hard to store it, yes, but I love the purple. It reminds me of Prince. And then when you open it up, here is the color story for this one. And I have used this a little bit, not enough at all, but I will be using it this next year. It does have the green in it. It has the red, but it also has a lot of purple and a blue. It's a very pretty color story. I just have not used it as much as I would have liked to. But again, I will be using it again. And now this is the whole thing of the conspiracy theory with, or conspiracy palette with Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. And this is the color story. And I have used this, but again, not as much as I would like to. So this will be coming back out next year. I see different things that I want to play with now than I did then. So I will be bringing this back out and using it, because why not? It's a palette that I have, so I might as well use it. This is the 12 Days of Lunar from Lunar Beauty. I bought this last Christmas, and I have not used it a whole lot. I've used a couple of the shimmer shades, but I have not used this color story enough. So I will be using this again. It's a beautiful color. I absolutely love it. This is Life's a Drag. Now, he's made another one that's called Life's a Drag Facelift, and I don't have that one, but there's your neutral side, there's your colorful side, there's your shimmers. It's so pretty, but they no longer sell this particular one. There's an upgraded version of this for Lunar Beauty. And then I also I wanted the Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 1, but before I could get it, it sold out and it's no longer coming back. But I did buy the volume 2, and it looks like a book, and these are the colors in it. These are beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, but they're not colors that I use a whole lot, but they are pretty. They are very, very pretty. So there's that. And this year he teased, you know, what do you want? I know you guys want my Moonspell Volume 1 back, but we're not going to do that. He brought out the Siren Sunset. This is newer to my collection. I've done one video with this. But look at those colors. They're so pretty. And I cannot wait to use this again. Like, this is my favorite of all of my Lunar Beauty palettes. This one is my favorite. So I will be using this again. I just got it, so I have not used it a whole bunch. But that is all of my eyeshadow palettes. I have 119 and counting. I'm obsessed. I can't help myself. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, who's better than you? Nobody. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.